Hello, this is Rick Guptill. This is another RoboSim Pro video. It's going to describe how to create a tool automatically. So we're going to load in a CAD model. A lot of times when you create a tool, you start with the CAD model of the tool. We have a lot of different formats. This one is a step format, which either can be have an extension STP or STEP. We've got the two options. So we're going to import that, and then we'll see that it's going to be a tool. It's a Fronius welding, arc welding tool. And what we're going to want to do is put a flange on it and a TCP. And in this case, we're going to create two flanges. And so you can mount it on either way, because there might be two ways you want to mount it. Or, yeah, we'll just create one TCP, I guess, in this case. You could also create multiple TCPs also. First thing we're going to do is just save it so that if we need to, we can go back and refer to the original model. So let's move the teacher. The teacher is just this object. It's like a wireframe object. It's a coordinate frame we can move around. And we're going to say move to a circle center. So we're just going to pick some points on this circle. And if you pick them in counterclockwise mode, like we're doing here, you'll get the frame oriented like this. But if you click it clockwise, then the Z would be pointing in. But either way, you can always rotate around the X or the Y, and then we can get the Z pointing the other way. So what we're going to do is, if you want to rotate the X down, that's minus 90 coming down. But you'll get the hang of that. So now we're going to teach the pose, what we call a pose or a frame on the CAD model. So we say teach on the CAD model, the pose of the teacher, and we're going to call that flange 1. And then what we'll do is we'll go back and we'll move that 90. Now let's make it 180. 180, and then we'll create flange 2, so that way you can teach the. You can, when we mount the tool, you'll see that there are two ways to do that. Okay, then what we can do is we can go to the wire, which we assume is going to be our TCP, so that when we weld a path, this is what's going to line up on the path. You can see here that the CAD model is small, and so the approximation is a hexagon, but it works with a circle center. It still uses the exact circle of the CAD model, the mathematical circle. So we're going to define the TCP as that in the Z direction, and then we can just rotate it so that we get the X. A lot of times we say the X is in the direction of the path. Sometimes we have the Z pointing in, depends on how you need that. So we'll call that the TCP. Okay, so we've got the CAD model set up with two flanges of TCP. Let's change the material to be metal. It just kind of looks better if it's metallic. And then we'll save that guy so that, and it's going to overwrite the previous one so that we know if we have to go back to it, we can always use it. So let's turn it into a tool. So it's pretty easy at this point. You just click on it, and this is because we've created an existing tool already. So we're going to overwrite the one that we practice with, but you won't get that message if you're creating a new tool. So here we go. So we have the TCPs. We're going to hide those frames so you can just see the TCP, and we'll hide the teacher. So that's the TCP, the tool center point of the tool. And then if you close on that and click on frames, you can see that frame 1 and frame 2 180 degrees out of phase of each other, so that when you mount it, it'll mount it on the robot either way. So here we're just deleting that frames that we used to teach it, because now we have the two flange values, and the TCP taught. So here we're going to save it, and it's ready for a tool. So we'll just delete it. We'll load a robot in. We'll mount the tool, and yeah, you can see that when we mount it, we can choose between flange 1 and flange 2. So let's just pick a Kamau robot. I'm going to do a view all, and then let's install a tool. So we got to go to the right library, So this is the one we just created, this Fronius. And yeah, so we'll just say this flange there, flange 1 to start off with. Okay, so it mounts it like that. And then there's also the, under tools, there's the tool pin, or the mount and unmount. So we're going to unmount it. So now it actually is just floating there, but now we're going to remount it, but we're going to choose the other flange, and you can see that it's pointing down. So now if you grab the tool with the move panel and move it in this case YZ, you'll see it moves. All right, thanks.